This is going to be a reading about what your inner child is like. We have this blue crystal for pile 1 that looks sort of black in the lighting of the candle. Then we have this rose quartz heart that you can't really tell from far away, but it has 2 little spike tips, like little horns. For pile 2, and then pile 3 is this beautiful sunstone that, I don't know, it shimmers in firelight, and especially in sunlight, when it hits at a certain angle, you can see little flecks of some sort of, I don't know, it sparkles almost on the inside, but it's beautiful. Alright. At pile 1, if you chose this blue, bluish, grayish, black rock, this is going to be a reading on what your inner child is like. I'm going to be using the Occult Tarot deck by Travis, Mick, and Ray. Spirit, connect me with pile 1. Their spirits, angels, ancestors, and entities who watch over them. Please connect me to their highest vibration. Please connect me to the exact messages that they need to hear in regards to their inner child. What is pile 1's relationship to their inner child? How do they align with their inner child? What is pile 1's inner child secretly like on the inside? In what ways are pile 1's inner child energy blocked? In what ways do pile 1 completely channel their inner child? Spirit, please give me messages that pile 1 needs to hear about their inner child. Please allow me to align with anyone who vibrated with the blue rock of pile 1. We have Page of Cups. Stolas. It says, teaches astronomy and values herbs and precious stones. And we have 6666 on the card, which might be a significant angel number for you, pile 1. Your inner child is definitely the more sensitive and emotional part of you. Maybe you were just really expressive as a child and liked to play really dramatic games, or maybe you were just hyper aware of other people's emotions or expressions. I'm getting an image of like either big wide eyes as a child, like you were constantly looking and watching, observing, or just the eyes of someone who knows, like a very knowing gaze, even when you were very young. Let's see. Your inner child sort of comes out in the present when you are in a state of happiness and satisfaction and contentment with yourself and what you have, when you meditate on things like gratitude, or align with things that make you the most happy or bring you the most pleasure without you having to force that out of yourself. I'm hearing third eye healing would be beneficial for this pile 1. And I'm seeing a sort of emotional strength in all of you, where maybe your inner child has had to carry some pretty heavy scars and wounds, that maybe your inner child deserves that happiness where they can just enjoy the moment and find play and fun in the moment with themselves and with the people they love without doubting it or second guessing it or overthinking it. You know, living just for the things that life and its lessons have brought you and the lessons you've brought others. Maybe your inner child gains a lot of healing from the satisfaction of seeing the full consequence of others' karmic lessons because of what they've done to you, or how they've hurt you, or how they even used or abandoned or, you know, hurt your inner child. Or even maybe when you deliver that karma yourself, that's a major healing element to your connection to your inner child, because, you know, it's almost like your inner child gets to have that little fun playfulness of like knocking someone down who deserves to be knocked down. It's just like, you know. We have the devil Mala. It says, makes one worse off than ever before, tricks mortals into being bound, accepts child sacrifice. And it's sideways. You're definitely pile one, not the type of soul who picks one path over the other. You don't really lean more towards the darker, the lighter sides of things. Definitely more of a neutral person in general. Having just a fascination with both of those elements of things. Deeper, like, there's almost like a deeper meaning to your shadow side, like the way you bring the aspects you bring out in people, whether it's, you know, your shadow side or your inner child. I'm feeling like your inner child is really connected to your shadow side, and that maybe your inner child has been used or hurt a lot in a way that sort of intrinsically tied it with the defensiveness of your, you know, ego and your shadow side for your own sake, for your sake of your own love and foundation of yourself and your own emotions and mental well-being. So it sort of made you into this playfully hurtful person, or playfully, it's not that you would go out of your way to hurt other people because you know what it feels like to be in pain, or you've seen that pain in a lot of people, but it's more like your sense of fun and playfulness and giving love and expressing love to other people has a lot to do with like maybe teasing them, maybe play fighting, maybe messing around with them. I'm not seeing it in a very like harsh light or manipulative light. It's just a lot more of an aggressive and deeper type of love, because it's so open with you're so open with your shadow side, and when you're really in the moment with someone, you're just connecting with them and feeling playful with them in your inner child element. It sort of takes on a darker vibe just naturally, because that's how your inner child interacts with the world and has learned a sort of pride in itself, like learned to love you've learned to love yourself by loving those parts of yourself that can easily cut down other people's bullshit, or even not be afraid to see into the dark side of things and really like point that out when people are afraid of it, or even just actively ignoring it or being ignorant of it. But then I'm also seeing that like your inner child is connecting to your inner child will give you obviously it heals everyone, but it's a huge part of the healing journey in your life, just in general, of all your karmas and pains and traumas and stuff like that, because it's sort of like when you're blocked off from your inner child, you are unsatisfied, you feel invisible to other people, you feel like your emotions aren't being heard and that you're alone in your emotions and how much you give to other people, and then you also take on this sort of ego projection. But the opposite end, you connecting with your inner child fills you up with this light that sort of makes you just feel better generally. It makes you see the genuine emotion in things, and makes you see where and why things needed to change, and how that change actually affected you, and the consequences of, like, you know, things that happen, like the actual logics of the material world, being able to accept that and surrender to that reality, and also like easily undertake any emotional obstacle and just be able to charge through it just like you easily see through the dark side or stare into the void without fear, because you've done it so many times before, you've gone through that struggle so many times before, that it's almost transformed you like a butterfly into, or a diamond in the rough, almost like into this like beautiful person who just cares, has such a deep emotional well within them, that maybe people used to try to take advantage of or even try to break. But those are like, it's like your inner child understands that like part of people that wishes to do that, or like understand, or like just intuitively knows when somebody's like that deep down, or is doing that to one of your friends or loved ones maybe, and you just karmically heal your inner child just by pinning that down. And it's just like your shadow side, your ego is just like, you hate it, and you just immediately like curb it. Not happening anymore. If it's happening to you or happening to people around you, or even if you're seeing it, somebody doing it, you're not going to be no bystander watching it happen to somebody else, even if it's just a stranger. You will push yourself into that situation, even to your detriment, because you are not you're not standing down in that situation where you know it is unfair, and you know someone's intentions are stupid and unfounded. But that's just more of like your shadow side speaking there, like just like that need, that passion, that need to like make someone actually change, even if you don't have the power or control to fully do that, but to have that influence over someone. Your inner child just like sees how they see it as a game, you know? And it's sort of like you can easily manipulate them at their own game, really. Like you can play them at their own game without even really playing. Like it's almost like you're just making fun with them, or like you're talking to them and you're just like arguing with them, but you're making fun out of it with your inner child, and it like you completely make a fool out of them, because you're low-key speaking everything truth about them, and it's embarrassing about them, because they know you're right, they know the stuff you're saying is true about them, and they're low-key guilty about it. It's almost like when you get that way, you have this specific type of harshness with your words. You don't actively try to put people through pain, or actively try to like hurt them, even no matter how bad of a person they are, but it's like your mind just knows they could be better, knows that like their ego is so wounded on the inside and it's just a projection. And it's almost like I'm seeing this image of swords surrounding them, like with your words, you just cut them in at all angles and are just, it's intense energy. Which is why I'm feeling like simultaneously you heal your inner child by doing that, but if you get too carried away and it gets too attached, you get too attached to that situation or like actually getting that person to change or listen to you, that's when it sort of becomes more your shadow side and you can't, you just get burnt out and exhausted because you feel like you can't do anything about that side of things or in the world and the universe and the people in the world. But still deep down, like, you know, you can only do that. You can only change that within yourself. And it's almost like your inner child intuitively has, like, not even intuitively, your inner child has, like, bared the responsibility of doing so much work and healing. Just with, like, these situations that happen to you over and over again. And sort of having to start from nothing and rebuild over and over again. Like a blank slate. People even saw you as a blank slate to just paint all over and put their own projection onto. But you know, that's not who you are. There's almost like this innate power in your ability to start from nothing and rebuild again. I'm getting an image of like the tower in reversed and upright. Spirit, tell me more about Power One's inner child. How does Power One's inner child come out? How does Power One's inner child come out? What is Power One's inner child like? Yeah. Your inner child is definitely very prideful or just snarky or just, you know, playful, silly, in a almost mean way, but not, I feel like the people who love you just can't get over you, they can't get enough of you. You're a fast talker, fire sign, air sign energy. You just, you know, your inner child is just not, you like, even though your inner child is like more observant, like sees the emotional side of a situation, you're just like not afraid to say exactly what needs to be said, like Aquarius energy. Just like it comes out of you spit it out at people without even thinking really sometimes, and it's just like, I don't know, your inner child was a little bit like maybe brash with their words, or maybe not brash but more like intensive with their words, or like methodical with their words, or maybe you have this manner of speaking or expression that like brings out your inner child when you're just like having fun with it like that. Yeah. And then surrendering to this like energy that you don't know everything, like you're allowed to be confused, you're allowed to not know everything, you're allowed to like be the dumb one in the situation sometimes, or be the one in the situation who like can't solve everything. Like you don't always have to take that responsibility. Doing that and accepting that within yourself really heals your inner child. I feel like your inner child is just kind of like confused a lot, or like in a situation where they had no control, and now you're kind of like control, but it's you know, you gotta let it go. Your inner child is just like can get very like in the clouds. So just make sure not to like hurt yourself over imaginary, or don't trip over your own thoughts, you know. Oh, the lovers. Wow. Yeah, anyone you've ever had a relationship with, you've ever loved, you've loved them from a place of your inner child. It's almost like your sense of loving someone is intrinsically tied with like showing them your inner happiness and like inner child, like just like that bright light within you that just comes from nowhere. You share that with them. and people see you really see and perceive and like feel and perceive your inner child through those acts of love and the way you express it, and can really tell when you're blocking off your inner child whenever you block off that love to maybe people who've hurt you. They can feel almost like the opposite energy, where instead of like this beautiful entrancing light, it's like this black hole of energy. Because again, like there's this really strong polarity about you, Pile 1, that I guess really the intensity of it attracts a lot of people with this lover card. Like, not only attracts a good amount of people, but it attracts really intense relationships or really intense people. That maybe like, yeah, like, I definitely like you don't usually forget your relationships and what they have meant to you, and the people you were in a relationship with, still think about you a lot. You change people's lives with your inner child. Like, there's something so beautiful about the way you express your love. Just to all things, animals, the universe, your spirit guides, your friends, family, anyone. Like, it's almost like anyone you meet feels a little bit brighter after you've talked to them, especially if you're more in a happy energy, or letting your inner child flow in that moment, because it's like you have this healing aura surrounding you, not because you're an active healer, but because you have so much love within yourself, just sprouting from your inner child, overflowing like a well. Oh, 4 swords. 4 swords. It says, teaches grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Can make one appear like a soldier. Your inner child's a little bit of a know-it-all. But your inner child's like definitely really smart though. Like, it's like your inner child does know a lot of things, which is why I think like the Ace of Swords in reverse came out, where it was just like your inner child's allowed to be confused. Like, you do healing by letting your inner child be the confused one. But also with this Four of Swords, I'm just feeling like you know how to create. It's almost like your sense of playfulness comes from creating these obstacles for people, like it's a game. As if you were playing the Big Bad Wolf with someone and they had to build a house of sticks, just to be like, oh no, and then you blow it down. It's just like, but it's a game, like, and this can go into your shadow sides too, where you can actually create like really bad obstacles for someone. But when it comes to your sense of play and your inner child, it's almost like you like building that thing up just for it to be broken down. It's like you like the process of it. It's not really about the destination for you, and which also is what makes you such a smart person, because you think things through in such an intuitive way that you don't even know how you sound so smart. Things just come out of you sounding that way, especially when you're just like expressing yourself and like being passionate for your inner child, and especially for other people, when you're like being passionate for them and their inner child with your own inner child. You just like, you really make them think about, like, I don't know, the things you say. But that is your reading, Pile 1. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this heart, rose, quartz, this is going to be your reading on your inner child. I'm just going to clear the energy in the room real quick for those of you who need protection. I'm also going to go ahead and align myself with your spirit guides, angels, ancestors, those who watch over you beyond the veil. Anyone else who wishes to help you in this reading, to go ahead and participate now, and to go ahead and block anyone who wishes to cause harm or negativity. Alright. What can you say about Pile 2 and their inner child? I'm I'm definitely feeling this. Okay, some of you may align with pile 1 also. I just saw 111 on the clock when I said that. I'm also feeling this energy. Okay, no, I just lost it. Spirit, what else is pile 2's energy? Okay. Give me a little bit more clarifier. Pile 2 energy, child. Please. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. So, we have Knight of Pentacles. Then we have the Hierophant. Rise. Then we have the Empress. Gramarye. And Lori. At the bottom of the deck we have Six of Pentacles, Amy. Amy. Eight of Swords, Folklore. Eight of Swords. Then we have Aligos, King of Swords. And then we have Four of Pentacles, File of the Floor. Your inner child has a lot to do with your destiny in this lifetime. Like, there's a major emphasis on inner child healing for you in this lifetime, and being able to express your inner child freely. Maybe you had something significant happen to you in your childhood. But yeah, in this lifetime, there's something karmically about your soul that has to do with your inner child. You might have been someone who liked birds or stones or plants as a kid, someone who was fascinated with maybe insects, who liked to collect rocks, something of that nature. And that would be, maybe if you're not still doing that, maybe getting back in touch with that would make you feel more connected to your inner child. I'm also seeing that some of you may like birds, may like bird watching, may like hiking, or you may have a beautiful singing voice. Singing may be your passion, or you might also be someone who felt as a child akin to a bird, like locked in a cage. Maybe you sort of romanticize that over the years just to cope with it, and are attracted to stories with that sort of theme. With the Hierophant, you're really a grounded person. Your inner child is something. Maybe you were like you were in a Christian household as a child, or really religious family, or even spiritual family. Your inner child is some sort of odd relationship to your own faith and belief. And healing your inner child has a lot to do with fixing that broken sense of faith or belief within yourself that maybe sometimes is one way and then other times you completely give up on it, or maybe you have a lot of trauma associated to religion, or maybe you have a certain spirituality that you believe in but have been blocked, but your inner child was blocked from it. So every time you're in your happy inner child energy, you don't get to feel also aligned with your inner power. So definitely healing needed around your sense of belief or faith in the universe, or how those things have affected you. The Empress. Your divine feminine is also like, your divine feminine and your inner child like intersect. Like, they are very similar in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but maybe you had a mother figure in your life or a feminine figure in your life who was just really immature, really focused on her own inner child. maybe you had to take responsibility for them. But I'm hearing now that like you need to, you know, let your own inner child shine. It's like your turn to embrace your inner child and like embrace those feminine parts of you where maybe you hid them away or shut them away because you felt like you couldn't express them, or maybe you express femininity in a really locked way where you feel like you can't. It's like these chains you need to break out of to really get aligned with your happiness. Like there's something about divine feminine healing that would really help you just express your inner child a lot more passively and without judgment on yourself. You know, just finding happiness and beauty, like beauty in your inner child, like seeing the beauty in those moments when your inner child comes out, or maybe sometimes you might feel embarrassed. Also, with the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, I'm getting this feeling that you need to realize how much, not even just material wealth, but mental and spiritual wealth, embracing your inner child and expressing your inner child is going to bring you in this lifetime. I feel like your sense of give and take to people has a lot to do with, like, you know, getting them to be more in touch with their inner child by being able to express your own inner child so freely and your sense of inner happiness and light. And I'm also hearing that giving to other people in any sort of sense, like just the act of equal give and take, giving and receiving with anyone or anything is just a huge part of how you, it's just like something your soul is passionate about. It's like a light you give off, or like something you really enjoy or love about the universe, is being able to have that give and take thing. So maybe giving someone a gift of some sort, or doing some sort of gesture, or writing a poem for someone or something might just make you feel more validated with just like being happy, you know, with yourself, because you're happy because of your happiness with someone else, because of the beauty you see in someone else, and being able to give to them and show them just how beautiful they are. Your inner child also might do a lot of healing by just like, you know, you indulging yourself in this life. Like I'm getting like hedonist vibes. Just, you know, don't be afraid to indulge in the pleasures of the material world. It's, you know, we're human. We're, you know, maybe you barred yourself off from that, or maybe you feel guilty for doing that, but, you know, let yourself have fun. Don't use indulgence as like a coping tactic, or like only doing it when you're negative. Just like, you know, do it because you like it. It makes you feel good, or you like the food, or you like the feeling of I don't know, but you don't have to make it a bad thing. Like it's not a bad thing to enjoy those things, you know. It's only a bad thing when you abuse them, or like you no longer find enjoyment out of them anymore. Eight of Swords is giving me like, your inner child has been through a lot of karmic lessons for sure. Your inner child gets caught up in a lot of other people's karmic lessons, which is annoying, but you know, it happens. You as a person have this innate understanding that things are always going to have to, you know, what outcome must come down, and things are always going to come back around that way. And you understand, like, yeah, what goes around comes back around, so you don't hurt other people. Obviously, you give out the energy you want to be receiving, which is going to bring you a lot of wealth and like good karma. But I'm also seeing that your inner child just feels more seen and more expressed when you have the ability to let go of those thoughts that have hurt you, those things that have built up and have made you feel like you can't see how beautiful you are, that you are literally a piece of gold. When you don't see that beauty within yourself, your inner child is literally trapped inside yourself, not being seen for the beauty that it is and you are. And especially when you don't consider your inner child as a part of yourself. Maybe some of you are willingly blind to your inner child because you've come to hate those parts of yourselves, or maybe you were made fun of for those parts of yourselves. But there's this definite need, emphasis on need, for letting those things go and being able to see past them and see through the illusion, being able to take that blindfold off and like really give that love to yourself that you need, and give that love to your inner child that your inner child maybe needed and never got, or just needs now in the first place. Four of Pentacles is giving me protecting your finances and protecting your foundations, really just cutting other people down from like trying to cut you down. Protecting your inner child, basically just protecting your inner child and everything you work for, because it's like these circles have a lot to do with like fully opening yourself up, making yourself vulnerable, and expressing your true light within yourself, and then you gain that wealth. And other people might try to take that, might try to take advantage of that, might try to exploit that, but no, this Four of Pentacles is telling me your protection of your inner child not only strengthens your inner child, but makes it shine even brighter, keeps it from being hurt and like battered in a way that steals your light, and like keeping yourself from doubting your own worth, or making other people making you doubt your worth, just protecting that light that doesn't have to be jaded, doesn't have to be forced the way some people just force it on other people. Like, it's almost like some people just don't understand you, but you protecting what you believe in and protecting your sense of like love and expression in the universe, really, it heals your inner child by making it feel like it deserves to be protected, and it deserves to be able to express those things. Yeah, again with this King of Swords, I'm hearing that like you might see your inner child as like separate from you. Or maybe like Gemini energy, where you like switch between completely embodying your inner child and then completely not, and maybe balancing that would be the better option, because your inner child has so much to do with your destiny and what will be remembered about you, and what you create in the world, what you create for the world, and what you will leave behind. Yeah, I'm definitely getting like career wise, it's going to have to be something that brings you pleasure and happiness. You are not going to be happy in a dead-end job, that's for sure, especially if your inner child is like burnt out, not getting to express itself, not getting to be heard. There's this definite need for your inner child to be seen and heard and observed, and for the beauty it is. Like, you give out so much beautiful, like, divine energy of just like people look towards you as if like people faithfully look towards you as if they know every time they see you it's just going to be this beautiful light aura that you give off because of how much love you constantly express into the world. And I'm feeling this will get you a lot of gain or popularity in your career, really, and really help you in your career just to be able to make fun out of a job, like actually, like, it's business. And everyone has business, but being able to enjoy it just makes it easier, and you make other people be able to enjoy it and let go of like the pain that sometimes people can associate with like feeling like they need to have a job, or they need something they're like, I need something to do, I'm doing the thing. But really, like, doing anything for you is automatically associated with like you're either taking from yourself and like giving to other people, or you're actually giving to yourself and giving to other people. And sometimes, you know, everyone gets lost and everyone gets confused about who they are and like what their true sense of giving is. But like when you let go of worrying about that and you let go of judging yourself and feeling like you need to be a certain way, that's when your inner child is just like able to move on with you past those past pains. That's when your inner child is leading you past those past pains and anxieties. And I'm hearing that you need to have faith in your inner child. Maybe just sitting down and observing or writing down in a journal, maybe how you perceive your inner child, or like moments where you felt like your inner child was being expressed might help you. Maybe writing down your feelings about like how you reacted to seeing that your inner child was coming out, and how maybe if it made you feel embarrassed, or it made you feel like you were having fun, or maybe you felt like you were really connecting to the other person, or maybe you felt like the other person didn't really like see your inner child. Like maybe writing down those things will help you see the pattern. Because it's almost like because your inner child has been maybe not even neglected, but just not seen for what it truly was, or how beautiful you truly are, like in that way, that you began to not see that within yourself either. And spirit is like, no. Your spirit guides are like, oh my god, please, you're so beautiful. Oh my god. It's so dramatic. Literally, I feel like main character vibes from this pile too, just like so dramatic. Lessons in this life that are gonna happen. You're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be an almost cinematic moment of that like moment in your life where you're like, oh my god, this is who I am. This is my destiny. I've always known this, but I also didn't know completely until just now. But I've also always known this. I don't know. It's just dramatic. It's so dramatic. But like that's how your inner child finds fun in things. I don't know. It's funny to me. Yeah, you keep people from being so fucking serious about shit, about their business or whatever. Or when people think that their business is like so serious or something, you're just like, you completely knock them down a peg and make them actually like sit there and like stop fucking. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Genuinely, it doesn't gotta be that deep. High Priestess gave me that you're a very smart, intuitive person. Your inner child knows. You know, and like your sense of spirituality, and like those moments when you're actually making a difference in a situation is usually because you're getting in touch and connecting with your inner child. Like when you're in those moments of actually connecting within your inner child, or maybe observing it or writing it down, or like trying to understand it, that's when you come across your deepest realizations, your deepest self-actualizations. Yeah, and then Gemini energy again. Look at that. Just, yeah, I'm definitely getting this energy where you might switch between inner child energy and Saturday energy, but it's like this cycle in you. Not necessarily a bad thing though. Everyone has their own like thing about them. Two of Pentacles in reverse is giving me like, yeah, just dramatics. Like when you are playful, like not actually seriously, like just upset for no reason, but when you're playfully being dramatic about things, or being like, oh my god, this is so serious, that's when your inner child is kind of getting to express itself. Like moments where like there didn't have to be like a playful moment, or like it didn't have to be that dramatic, but you sort of added a little bit of dramatics to it just to make people laugh a little bit. It's like those are the moments when you're like, you really feel that happiness within yourself, that valid, that just that light within yourself. I'm also seeing that your inner child is really strong in that maybe you've had to fall down and pick yourself back up multiple times. Like, you didn't really have anybody there for you, but it sort of made your inner child into this headstrong person where, like, you really had to just believe in yourself or, like, keep being in despair, and that your inner child is almost, like, fascinated with you now. Like, if your inner child met you now, like, younger you met you now, they'd be like, oh my god. Because just, like, there's this energy where they think you're so cool and they're so proud of you of how many times you've just picked yourself up and, like, the kind of person you've created yourself into being all by yourself, without anyone else's help. The things you've made in this world and the way you've changed people. The Nine of Wands universe giving me, you're not someone pity party, when you're not, like, letting yourself get burnt out, and when you're just enjoying things and you're not doing things that make you feel sad or tired or burnt out and stuff like that, that's when your child is like, yes, thank you for, making me stop doing that stuff I didn't want to do no more. Like, just don't do stuff you don't want to do. Don't get involved with people you don't want to be involved with, Don't get mad at yourself for doing things you like to do, you know what I mean? Like, those are the things that'll heal your inner child the most. Pile 2. Hi, pile 3. If you chose this sunstone, pink sunstone, this is going to be your reading on your inner child. Spirit, connect me to pile 3's angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and all those who watch over them, either here in the metaphysical or beyond the veil. Please connect me with their highest good, highest vibration, and allow me to reach anyone who vibrationally aligned with this pile at this moment. To be heard and acknowledged in some way in this pile during this reading. I'd also like to do this for the growth and progression of my pile 3 and to help them on their journey with these messages. Spirit, tell me what pile 3's inner child is like. Give me energy in pile 3's energy towards their inner child. Wow. 3 of Swords came out immediately. So lots of pain associated with your inner child right off the bat. Pile 3. That's for sure. Spirit, give me a little bit more on pile 3's inner child. How does pile 3's inner child perceive pile 3? 3 of Cups. That's funny. 3 of Swords, 3 of Cups. So you're onto your roots. In your friendships and in your sense of, like, just playfulness, like having fun. Just to have fun. That's how your inner child sees you, is like when you have that energy in those moments of being that kind of person, that's how your inner child perceives you. Just to be this sort of fun, just for fun type person. Meanwhile, you perceive your inner child in a way that brings up a lot of pain and strife from the past. I'm also hearing that some of you have psychic powers associated with your inner child, like specifically you're in clairvoyance, past, present, future magic. But let's see. Spirit, what is Pile 3's inner child like? What is the energy of Pile 3's inner child? We have Knight of Pentacles with the Emperor. So you're just a very abundant person. You get things done. And your inner child has this ambition about them that it gives them the ability to easily connect to any person, to any situation, to very easily understand and have the tools to participate in almost any situation or event. Your inner child, I'm basically saying, is very adaptable in a way that is not only flexible for yourself, but flexible for others and helpful to others even. Maybe your inner child has experienced a lot of pain and helps other people keep away from that pain or the things that cause them that pain. Or maybe your inner child has seen the effects of pain over long periods of time, and the cycles overall in the patterns of history, really, and is really working with you to change that, not only in yourself and your own beliefs, but in the people around you and the people who you affect in this lifetime. Because it's almost like there's this expectancy for bad things to happen, or for that things should just be this way, when it's really the most horrendous thing to you and your soul and your inner child that these things exist. Like, should we teach our children hatred? Chase the innocent and shoot them down. Yeah, it's almost like you've seen your fair share of strife, not just in yourself, but in other people. Like, you've seen people have all these things at their disposal and then just not go towards their dreams, or not get out of these situations they need to get out of simply because of fear, simply because of, I don't know, laziness, lack of self-love, lack of self-ambition. I'm feeling almost this need for creative expression and creative passion in your life that is associated with how your inner child wants to be expressed within you. Especially if you are an artist of some sort or a creator of some sort. All of the situations and things you address within your art have something to do with the lessons, the karmic lessons with your inner child and your connection to your inner child. And not only does this change you, but it really strongly affects the people who are moved by your art or your creative expression, or how you express yourself if you're not someone who creates things like that. Which is something your soul and your inner child especially is very passionate about. Just being able to eliminate that pain and that strife in the world, because it's almost like your inner child knows it doesn't need to exist. It knows we don't need to keep continuing that cycle. Yeah. You understand that, things happen as they happen. Your soul is on a constant, it's almost like your soul is on a constant pushing a rock up a hill only for it to come back down. But it's like just how your soul karmically operates in this lifetime. Like, you're constantly burnt out, but it's like, it's to the point where you've sort of just started to enjoy the moment and enjoy the process of like going around and around in that cycle, or like really start, I don't know how to explain it. For some of you, it's just to like really step back and observe what exactly is the cycle that you keep going through. Or maybe you're like, you think it's one way, but it's actually another way. Or there's just this lack of mutuality between how you feel about it versus what you really believe deep down. Your inner child almost operates at a constant rate without getting a real break. It's just rapid fire events just that are constantly putting you under this pressure, Cancer energy, to be emotionally mature and be just go through these things that maybe burn your soul out, or you bring up these past pains that you keep having to revisit. And it's easier when you can be around your friends and y'all can just joke about it and almost make fun about it, and things seem okay. But then when those things are actually happening, you're having to deal with them alone. It's like, or even see the people you love around you deal with them alone and struggle so much. It just puts your inner child under so much distress, like not even distress, but like it's like a deep inner rooted sadness within your soul in general. But it's almost like when you stop trying to have faith in someone else or some sort of God to help you, like, and you just help yourself and you help other people by yourself by standing up for them and yourself, like, that's when your inner child is actually being expressed, like letting your inner child take over and be the one who expresses their needs instead of you helping the situation for other people to experience less pain and less strife. And the Eight of Wands giving me, your inner child likes to talk a lot, especially with this Knight of Wands. You should definitely just be more expressive if you're a more introverted, quiet person. I think Spirit is encouraging you to like get more in touch with the side of you that is more expressive and speaks their mind, because maybe you like doubt yourself, feel guilty about that. For others of you who just naturally attuned to being a introverted person who doesn't talk a lot, I'm hearing that you should pay attention to what specifically you say to people and the power behind what you say and how exactly you say it. Not exactly talking in frequency, but in intensity, quality over quantity. Especially for those of you who are creative artists, with the power to change people's karmic cycles, really, with what you do. And you know, every word you say, every action you have is like a seed that will later grow, that will later sprout. It's like a seed planted, you know. And there's good seeds and bad seeds. Good thoughts, bad thoughts. There's definitely people watching over you, or entities watching over you, pile 3. We have like archangels watching over you, and not only that, but like metaphysical entities and beings between the realm, or between the veil of consciousness. Yeah, people just tend to have this protective energy over you and your inner child because of how there's this emphasis, there's this weird purity or singularity or unity about your power, your light, your inner child, whatever, that strongly attracts people like a black hole almost. Or, and then to the people who love you and care about you and see you for who you are, it just makes them want to protect you from the dangers in the world, want to protect you from those people who like just want to use that part of you because of how special it seems. It's almost like there's this emphasis on it, your inner child having this particular special quality about them that is, I don't know, charming, magical, beautiful, something. It affects people on a deep level. That's all I know. Ace of Cups and Four of Wands. It changes not only their sense of stability in themselves and happiness within themselves and what they perceive happiness as, but but also just making them automatically happy. Like you make people just well up with emotions. Not even that you always just make people happy or make people laugh or make people smile, but you really make people open up emotionally or feel not unafraid. You make people feel unafraid to open up emotionally, and you really talk with people and have deep, meaningful conversations, and you get to the bottom of things, and you plant these seeds in people's mind when you're like just expressing your inner child rapid fire talking like that like people think of like long after you talk to them, and it really like affects their emotional not only well-being but how they perceive themselves and their own emotions. Yeah, so definitely a lot of really emotionally mature people without even meaning to be in this pile. I'm getting like your inner child might have had to be emotionally mature for other people, or maybe you were just really emotionally mature for your age, for whatever reason. Yeah, you had a lot of tools at your disposal, even from a really young age, to just understand almost every situation and event that goes on to you, which is why I feel like every situation and event that you come across as a challenge and and almost burns you out, because like Spirit is trying to push you in this vision of just surrendering to it, and because you have a way of overcoming the challenge by going through it and surrendering to it, and letting go. Spirit, tell me some more about pile 3 and their inner child. Tell me some more about pile 3 and their connection to their inner child. Tell me some more about pile 3 and their connection to their inner child. I'm definitely hearing that grief and anger are very healthy emotions for you to be able to channel from your inner child. Like letting your inner child express those things is very important to you and your soul. Spirit, tell me more about what pile 3 inner child is like. Tell me more about pile 3's connection to their inner child. Just a couple more cards. Let's see. Three cards, I guess. That's fine. Bottom of the deck energy, we have the Hermit. Major Arcana. I love the Hermit. Yeah, you definitely, when you're shining your inner light, people very acutely perceive this sense of inner knowing about you. Like, and when you're in that state of happiness and just contentment and sharing that with other people, people just see you as this well of happiness, this well of beauty that is almost inspirational to them. Like your aura is so deeply magnified by how you speak and how your thoughts come across and how your ideas project into other people's realities, that it makes them feel like you truly know yourself, or you truly have something that they don't. Like sometimes people feel like you have something they don't, even though you're just doing your own thing. Nine of Wands again. Yeah, your inner child gets really burnt out. You need to, I don't know, self-care or something, because like your connection with your inner child has a lot to do with those moments when you get, when you struggle with like your passions and like the people you love, and you struggle with the position your sense of love puts you in. So maybe like you need some things to learn, or some things to adjust by like doing healing with your inner child, or just observing your inner child, and observing when you feel burnt out, observing when you just no longer have the emotional capacity to contribute to a conversation or a situation, and just like allowing yourself to feel that way, and allowing yourself to step back when you need to, and allowing yourself to recognize when you're about to be burnt out, so you don't put your inner child into that situation. High Priestess in reverse is giving me that like again, the singularity of an energy. Like, you're very, if you aren't now, you have an amazing, very strong capacity to be very tied and in touch with your inner child in almost everything you do, especially since your inner child is constantly with you or constantly present in situations, just karmically, like being brought out by the universe. Really just taking that separation and putting you and your inner child into one being and letting both of those sides of yourself be expressed at the same time is what hones your inner child energy the most in your life, and hones the balance in your life, and like gain spiritual, mental, material gain in your life, really. And with this King of Pentacles in reverse, I'm getting like, don't worry. When you're not worrying about what your future is going to be like, when you're not worrying about finances and things like that, things of the material world that don't really matter to your soul or to your inner child wouldn't even understand those things. That's when you're like the least stressed. Like, you're not living for capitalism or whatever. You're not living for a job or living for money. You're living for the people you love. You're living for yourself and the things you like to do. You're living for the things you find beautiful in the world and being able to see them again every day in a new light. Like, those kinds of things. Especially with this King of Cups right next to it in upright. Your inner child has a lot to do with the flow of emotions within you, coming from the world and going out from you, and just that cycle of emotions and being able to hold things together and be balanced within that Aquarius energy. Just be able to almost manipulate the emotions around you in a perfectly balanced way that it, folds back in on itself exactly as it should be, and things in your life and in other people's lives feel once again balanced the way they need to be. I feel like maybe people have tried to tell you when you were younger to like put an emphasis on like things that you didn't really care about, just on the material world that didn't matter to you. But now that, you're getting older and you're thinking for yourself, it's more like you feel within your heart that you value these emotional and spiritual maturities and adventures more than you value these things in the material world. And it's really important for you to like actually fully realize and appreciate that and like go through with that belief for your inner child, so you can just like go on those adventures and do those things that are actually fun to you, and not, get locked into this like idea of like what your life needs to be like, or what success is like, or what you need to make yourself happy or others happy. Eight of Pentacles. It's just telling me that you have there's almost this magical ability you have with like transformation, like spinning straw into gold. I'm hearing, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you can either transform things deeply within yourself or within other people, or like maybe even objects, or like alchemy, something like that. Whatever this magical power is that you have within yourself, getting in touch with it and honing in on it, and even using it for like a job or something so you can do it every day, really just make your inner child so happy. Your inner child is also someone who like understands karma like that, and has the ability to transform people like that with your, I don't know, there's like charm or like compulsion that your inner child gives out that like makes people listen to you, or makes people like, it's like Scorpio energy. Your inner child hits them right where it hurts, like right where they, right on the money mark, and it genuinely does change people. Wow, that is your inner child, pile 3.